Jamil Hamadine and his family have tended their flock of sheep for generations, but it's become increasingly difficult to feed them. Hamadine has had to abandon the Bedouin tradition of moving to greener grazing pastures throughout the year because he's afraid of losing his home. This single-room prefabricated structure, which he shares with 6 members of his family, was donated by the European Union. Hamadine shows me the eviction notice given to him by Israeli soldiers in December. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has now ordered all EU structures in the area to be demolished.
The EU gave us these caravans because our old shelters were falling apart and weren't safe. The Israelis consider this a crime, and yet they build illegal settlements on our land every day.
The demolition order follows a claim by a right-wing Israeli non-governmental organization that the homes are illegal because they were built without Israeli permits, a view supported by at least 2 members of the European Parliament. They've criticized the EU for spending millions of dollars on the 400 structures in what's known as Area C.
When the Oslo Accords were signed 20 years ago, Israel retained control of Area C, which in part meant any future Palestinian construction would require its approval. But according to independent monitoring groups, since then, Israel has rejected 97% of all Palestinian permit requests.
The European Union's top representative to the occupied Palestinian territory says the EU is having serious discussions to prevent the demolitions.
For us, we operate and we intervene on very clear humanitarian guidelines. No other reasons.
Palestinian officials say the demolition orders and the rejection of nearly all building permits in Area C are part of Israel's policy of pushing Palestinians out of the largest section of the West Bank. They say it's part of efforts to expand Israeli settlements, which in turn makes establishing a Palestinian state increasingly difficult. Whatever the case, Hamadine says all his family can do now is continue to live in the only home they have while it's still standing. Imtiaz Taib, Al Jazeera, Khan Al Ahmar in the occupied West Bank.